South African basketball is growing in leaps and bounds as the sport continues to attract big names into the country. SA basketball team Cape Town Tigers have signed emerging star Zaire Wade. Now, this is the son, if you know the surname and if you follow your basketball, of the NBA legend Dwyane Wade. The Tigers are participating in the newly established Basketball Africa League, which sees them compete against the toughest teams on the continent. And boy, are some of them tough. Now, for more on it, we're joined by Wade, as well as the Tigers owner, Raphael Edwards. Gentlemen, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for making the time to come through. Raphael, I'm going to start with you. Just investment into the Cape Town Tigers and why Zaire?
Oh, well, first, thank you for having us. Good morning, SA. And the Cape Town Tigers, I mean, Cape Town is a beautiful place. South Africa is amazing. So it made sense to bring a team here. The basketball fans are extremely knowledgeable and passionate about what's going on. Z was a player that came across our radar, looking at his style of play and what we needed to advance as a team. You know, we're always trying to make our team just a little bit better. And he fit. He was a perfect piece to a puzzle that I saw that we needed.
Z, you know, it's almost as if it's expected that the son of an NBA legend will follow the footsteps of his father, even though the parent will say that, no, I'm not encouraging or influencing my children to follow in my footsteps. But firstly, it's a two-pronged question. Firstly, why did you decide to just follow in your dad's footsteps? Or rather, why are you choosing to chart your own path in basketball? And secondly, why Cape Town?
First, I think that I've always, played basketball my whole life. It's just something I love to do. Besides playing baseball, there was no other sports I really was good at like that. Yeah. So having basketball obviously around basically 24/7 growing up, you either gonna hate it or love it. So I'm glad that I loved it. And then why Cape Town is because they were gracious enough to give me an opportunity after the combine when I had to go perform. And that's what we were looking for as a family, just the opportunity to grow on and off the court. So,
difficulty of carrying the surname Wade. I ask this because there have been articles written many a time about Mick Schumacher. Everybody is saying, can he emulate his father? Can he at least become half of what his father was? Your father's an NBA champion. Is it difficult carrying that name, or do you feel, it shouldn't be that difficult because I'm trying to do my own thing?
It's hard at times, for sure, but I think at the end of the day, you kind of just got to play the cards that you're dealt with and just, act accordingly from there. So as tough as it gets, I just kind of sit back and look at the situation and see how I can best, go forward with it. And just as time goes, you'll kind of get used to it. So
I can only imagine. Raphael, you didn't come here because we've got an amazing mountain and that it's one of the, eight wonders of the world. You came here because there is something that you saw in this country. There's something that you saw in Cape Town, so much so that you've even brought a Wade to this team in Cape Town to try and see how successful you can be on the African continent. How successful can you be on the African continent? Does the Cape Town Tigers have what it takes for them to take over the continent and potentially birth some stars that you can go to the United States?
Yeah, well, I think we definitely do. South Africa, like I said, the fans are extremely passionate. And not only are we trying to advance basketball, we represent the country, I think we're leading the way for the entire continent. I do believe we have the best team in Africa. We're only 18 months old. Where these teams play in really strong leagues in their countries, then they come over to BAL. We don't have that luxury yet, right? So we come straight from the practice court and go compete against these guys. And we have a few things that no one else in this country has. So, and we're going to display it all once we get to BAL in April.
You strike me as the kind of person that doesn't want things easy. You enjoy a challenge. You strike me as the kind of person that wants to see just how far you can be pushed. And you've mentioned a couple things, such as the fact that, you're going up against people who play basketball on a regular, more than what South Africans do usually, because we are a football, rugby, and cricket dominated nation. What have been some of the challenges that you've faced as Raphael Edwards, who's owning Cape Town Tigers, that has somewhat pushed you to continue what you're doing?
Well, at the end of the day, I'm a young black man from Brooklyn, New York. So it will be, from an immigrant, single-parent home. So there'll be no challenge that's tougher than that for me. So, as speaking towards Cape Town and basketball, South Africans, I won't even say South African sports fans.
Yeah.
South Africans could be very difficult to start, right? They give you that tough love.
Yeah.
And I recognized that. I embraced it. And I stayed true to what I am. I'm true to my word. I'm true to what I am. And I stand on beliefs that, that the foundations are in values. And I think that's something that South Africans gravitated towards, they recognized, and now they embrace it. So,
Do you want to play in the NBA? Do you see that happening for yourself? I mean, you're still quite young, and there is that opportunity. But my understanding of the American sports system is that if you're not picked up at like a 12, 13, 14 already, elementary school, and then moving into high school and college, you're probably not going to become a big deal. But do you feel that you have what it takes to move into the NBA?
I like to stay present, I have what it takes to be, me and Coach, I have what it takes to be the best point guard in the BAL. That's what we're working on right now. I don't like to skip steps because that's not possible in life. If everybody got to skip steps, you would be automatically where you want to be.
Yeah.
And I don't really care for that. I know the Americans, they write, people off if you're not in the NBA 18, especially in a position like me. So I don't really care for that stuff. I just go, with this journey that God has blessed to put me on, and I just take it day by day and see where we go from here.
What's your old man saying? What conversations are you guys having? Because I would imagine this might have been a chat that would have raised his eyebrow, not necessarily in disapproval, but to say, I wouldn't have thought you would go to South Africa to go play for the Cape Town Tigers in the BAL, but okay, let's see what you can do about it.
Funny enough, he brought it up to me, the opportunity to go to the combine and play. He did his research on the BAL with a few of his team members. He was talking to Coach, and he came back to me and was like, hey, I think you need to check this out. Like, really do your research on it. This could be a big opportunity for you to just grow, like I said. So when he initiates something, especially, that makes me feel a lot more comfortable about it, and we just went from there.
Can we turn basketball into something big enough to perhaps compete with football, soccer, cricket, rugby, netball? These are the sport. I mean, hockey is one of the most popular sports. Field hockey, that is, one of the most popular sports in South African schools, but it's not even professional. Our players can't make a living off of it. So do you see basketball essentially entrenching itself in the South African sports space? Does it have that ability, that power?
Oh, I definitely see basketball infiltrating the sports space in South Africa. I mean, it's a lifestyle sport. And I believe with the Cape Town Tigers, we've already started the process. I've gotten word from people from BAL, people from NBA Africa, that said, Ra, you guys are literally changing the landscape of basketball on the continent already. And that was before we were a year old. So the ripple effects are taking its toll.
What do you want? What do you want when you're not going to be done with this, because it's a legacy that you're trying to leave? But when you catch a flight back to Brooklyn and you're sitting in your house on your couch, with the assumption that that is where you live, what are you hoping to look back on and see after this?
I'm hoping to look back on, the journey, and people see that we built this literally from the ground up. There was nothing here like this when we got here, and it was from people. The people that built it weren't the expected people. I have an ownership group of 2 African American women, a Senegalese gentleman, and a young brother from Queens, New York, that I grew up playing basketball with. And we did it unconventionally. We did it through hard work, passion, skill, and knowledge. And I just want to build a legacy,
Yeah.
I want our name to be held in the lights of the Yankees, the Lakers, the great soccer teams that you guys have. So I want us to be looked at like that.
I want to say thank you, I think, on behalf of sports fans in this country, because we're a sport-mad nation. You know, we may not be World Cup winners regularly, other than rugby, but we are a sports-mad nation, and we are grateful. I think I speak on behalf of a lot of people for your investment in South African sport and trying it is what it is you are trying, that you even felt that this is an important enough place to come to and give us your talent as well. So I think we're grateful to you guys. And thank you more just for joining us this morning, just to chat about what it is you're going to do. All the best with the Cape Town Tigers, guys.
Thank you
all the
very
best.
much.
We'll definitely be keeping up to date and checking.
You should tell them to really follow the page, too. I mean,
yeah.
You follow the Instagram page, the Cape Town Tigers. We're on IG. You can get updated with everything we're doing.
Fantastic.
The games coming,
yeah.
where the jerseys are being sold, at Shesha, everything.
Follow
nice.
us on IG, man.
No, fantastic, fantastic. Of course, guys, that's where you can definitely go on Instagram. It is the Cape Town Tigers. They're going to be involved in the Basketball Africa League, and that's Zaire Wade, as well as Raphael Edwards, the men, of course, from the Cape Town Tigers. And that's where we leave it from the sports desk, but it's also where we leave it for the first hour of NewsLink.